What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers have officially re-signed Jaxson Hayes. Totally okay with this signing. Talked about it on several occasions that, I don't mind Jaxson Hayes as long as he's not your primary big, right? I prefer him to be our third big, right? Whether you're bringing in Al Horford, supposedly the Lakers kind of see Maxi Kleber because he's recovering well. They see him as kind of that floor spacing big for them that they, kind of have an interest in like an Al Horford, right? I still think the Lakers are going to try to pursue an Al Horford. Supposedly, Al Horford is kind of, weighing his options. Supposedly, he might retire, sign with the Warriors or the Lakers. So I think this is good. Get Jaxson Hayes back. He's a guy that, has familiarity with this team, has built-in chemistry, was working well with Luka Doncic, especially during the regular season. He's a guy that you can throw in a pinch. Right? So if Ayton gets the night off, right, and you need to start Jaxson Hayes, you can start Jaxson Hayes, and he can give you production, particularly in the regular season. Postseason is where things start to kind of get a little, because he doesn't have, Ayton, he can be that lob threat, but he also has individual skill, right? He can create and score the basketball and knock down the little midi and all that stuff. Jaxson Hayes just doesn't have that. He's basically going 100 miles an hour, but I like Jaxson Hayes as kind of your development big that you're bringing around, kind of continuing to let him grow in a backup role. He's going to see minutes. He's going to see the court over an 82-game season. It's the postseason where things kind of get a little questionable. Can he continue to grow, develop? I mean, you got to keep in mind, he's going to have a full training camp with Luka. He's going to have a full offseason, right? Full preseason. And then, throughout the course of the regular season, kind of see him start to mold and evolve. Hopefully he's working on different elements and aspects of his game. He's a guy that I'm fine with being in a role. I hope that this isn't something where the Lakers are this is our backup. Right? I don't want Jaxson Hayes to necessarily be our backup. I'm okay. I will say this, though. I am okay if the Lakers are patient on a trade for a backup. Right? Because, here's the thing. Again, Jaxson Hayes, I think, is more of a third big than a primary backup big. But the scale of backup bigs is not extreme. Right? Starting level big, there's different skills and levels of starting level bigs, right? But they usually have bigger roles. They're usually, more skilled. There's more there. They're playing more minutes, so on and so forth. So, most role guys or backup, centers are all kind of playing roughly the same minutes, kind of giving you roughly the same production. So I'm not worried about the backup role. Obviously, I'd like a guy like an Al Horford for obviously what he can bring to the team, but I also think that he is somebody that can really help Deandre Ayton. And he's a guy that kind of needs to get his mind right, get his mental right. And I think Al Horford could be a guy that could really kind of be a leaning block, right? A leaning pillar for Ayton to kind of keep him focused. When he's kind of, having a bad day or whatever, Ayton can kind of explain. Or if he gets, there's a game where he doesn't get the touches he wants. It's like, hey, dude, I've been there. I've done that. Here's the kind of focus, right? Where, a guy like Jaxson Hayes, Ayton's not going to what are you going to say to me, right? Type thing. But as far as if the Lakers were to kind of just stay put, I'm not totally against it. I'm not saying that I want the Lakers to stay put all season, but you see some of the prices of an Andrew Wiggins. If that's the price for a wing right now, is that just Miami's price or is that just kind of the going rate right now? You also got to keep in mind, we're 3 months away from the preseason and regular season, right? So teams aren't in a rush, right? Today's price is not going to be the price from 3 months now, right? So Lakers are patient. Andrew Wiggins, you might be able to get for, they want Connect and a first, right? A month or month and a half from now, it might be, okay, fine, we'll just take Connect, right? Or, okay, fine, we'll just take a first. Then all of a sudden you get there and they're like, okay, well, we don't want to go into the season with Andrew Wiggins, because especially once you get close to training camp, teams want to kind of have their roster ready to go. They don't really want to make trades after training camp because they're trying to have their coach put everything together they want to put together and everything. So we still have time. So I'm okay if the Lakers just kind of figure out and weigh their options, right? Wait for that right move. Even some of these centers, we don't know what they're going, we know what Walker Kessler's going right for, which is insane. Right? We know what, some of these guys may or may not go for, but you don't know what the conversations are to be had. And you got a team like for example, Phoenix. Phoenix is not going to want to go in a training camp with 5 centers, right? Like some of these teams, like Portland's probably not going to want to go in a training camp with 5 centers, even with Ayton leaving, right? They still have like 5 centers. So you're going to have a lot of these teams that are going to have to start making decisions as we inch closer to training camp. I know we all want everything to get done immediately. I know we all want to see the Lakers, get that quality back up so we can all exhale and stuff. I'm okay if the Lakers kind of work, and stay patient. I would like the backup center before the start of the season, but I would be okay. Like I would rather. So here, let's phrase it like this. So I would rather the Lakers go and solve their 3-and-D position than their backup position right now, because I think Jaxson Hayes could fill it through the regular season. All right, and I think you'd be fine. But it is something that I want to address at some point, even if it's like at the trade deadline. And you might be thinking, absolutely not, Tyler, but here's the reasoning behind that. Again, it is easier to integrate a backup center that you're just looking to play. Hey, you know what you're doing? Yeah, I just need you to do that here, right? And Luka is going to throw you lobs all night. Just be ready to catch it. And you just run that. Like big men, they know their role, right? Especially backup big men. They're going to play, and come playoff time, they're only going to play X amount of minutes. So like you're not worried about like building this like intense chemistry or whatnot. Like, you'll be fine. You need Ayton and Luka to build that chemistry, right? Jaxson Hayes and Luka will continue to build that chemistry. Any like backup, right? So like let's say at the trade deadline, the Lakers go trade for Nick Richards. Like Nick Richards coming in, it'll be easier to integrate than even necessarily a 3-and-D wing, right? Like an Andrew Wiggins, because Andrew Wiggins is used to playing a particular role. He's playing on a team where he's not like coming to Lakers. He'd be the 4th or 5th option, right? So there's going to be some adjustments there, unless you get like a lower tier wing that is used to being kind of just that 3-and-D guy, right? You have to get him involved, learn the defensive systems, learn the offensive systems, learn how to play off of Luka, learn how to play off LeBron, learn how to play off of Austin Reeves. Like it's just a lot more that perimeter guy needs to kind of learn and adapt to, especially in the starting unit. But a backup center, again, you're just asking him to come in and inject himself and, hey, just bring me energy and effort and you're fine. And again, the scales are not that crazy. But to kind of shift it back to Jaxson Hayes, I do think Jaxson Hayes, I'm totally okay with this, right? One, we now know that the original reports were nonsense, which Jaxson Hayes himself said were nonsense. Right, there were the original reports that he was unhappy with his role and he didn't want to come back to the Lakers and he wanted to go elsewhere. Now, could it be in part he just didn't have any other offers? Because, how many teams are lining up and running to the door to go get a Jaxson Hayes? Probably not very many, if any at all. So it could just kind of be like, I got that. But, Jaxson Hayes himself said, like, no, that's not true. That's not accurate and isn't ruling out going back to the Lakers. He's wanted to play with Luka. As soon as the Lakers traded for Luka, he talked about how excited he was to play with Luka and that Dallas was trying to trade for him back when he was with the Pelicans. Right? And so that was like a surprise. Like everyone was like, what? Jaxson Hayes understands, knows, and plays his role well. He's that high energy, high flyer. You give him 10 to 15 minutes and he's going to be great, right? I don't like him in the starting role because the longer he's in the game, the worse he gets because he starts to be exposed and he's used to playing within this box. Keep him in this box and you're going to have success with Jaxson Hayes. I like Jaxson Hayes. He was having a very good run and a very good season towards the end of the season. And then we got to playoffs. And the thing is that again, like Minnesota made the adjustments and changes to account for Jaxson Hayes. Also, Jaxson Hayes is like 220 pounds soaking wet, so it's not a good matchup for him Like Jaxson Hayes would have been great in probably like a Warrior series, right? Because he's high flying, he's 7-footer, you can just bang on everybody, just throw it up, you can go get it, right? Warriors aren't going to be as physical as a team like, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Right? So I do think that there are some teams he would have been more effective against in the postseason. But he's a guy that during the regular season, I think everything you saw you could get. But again, regular season and postseason are very different things, which is why I was so adamant. I don't like Jaxson Hayes as our starter. Like, I don't think it's going to work as our starter. You can get away with a lot in a regular season. You're playing 82 games. You have some teams that are terrible. You have some teams that are just, like, there's just so many variables and circumstances in an 82 game season that, again, you can kind of get by and make do with some of these things. All right, so I think it'd be fine, but ideally, I'd like to kind of get your backup center resolved. It's not something I think you need to absolutely rush for. Now that we know, because we know Jaxson Hayes works. Right? If it was like Christian Coloco, be a little concerned. Right? Because we don't know how well it works, if it works. Right? We saw him in brief flashes and moments last season, so it's kind of like, right? But Jaxson Hayes, we know, works well, and works well with Luka. And he can kind of play that role that we need him to play and be that quality backup for the Lakers. So I'm fine with it right now. I would like to get a more, an upgrade in the backup role, but I don't think it's something that, I think Jaxson Hayes will be fine until we find that right piece. It just takes pressure off the Lakers to do something crazy. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.